She pulled the engine cord, but it wouldn't start. The plank was nailed to the wall. Kristal couldn't pull it off with her bare hands. Kristal used the crowbar to pull off the plank. The red-haired girl was crying her eyes out. Kristal couldn't just ignore it. Then the red-haired girl pointed at something above them. Kristal took a step back and saw the plush bunny on top of the roof. The red-haired girl took out a kid's umbrella and gave it to Kristal. The red-haired girl pointed at the bunny again. The red-haired girl calmed down for a moment. But as Kristal walked away, she started crying again. Kristal dug deep into the trash can in hope to find something useful. But all she could find at the bottom was a half-empty bottle of vegetable oil. As she climbed out of the trash can, it fell over. Kristal's stomach growled. Kristal was the one who made the crayon drawings. The orphanage headmaster was upset with Kristal for soiling the wall, and she was grounded for 2 days. That was not the first nor last time Kristal was grounded by the headmaster. In fact, Kristal spent more days looking out the window than looking in. Which window was it now again? That was the window she spent her days looking out. The headmaster was much harder on Kristal than on the other kids. Most of the time, Kristal hadn't even done anything wrong, but was framed by the other orphans. That said, it should not be withheld that Kristal was a bit of a mischievous child. Once, Kristal stole the headmaster's hairpin. Where did she hide it now again? It was under this stone Kristal had hidden the hairpin. After all these years, it was still there. It was a wooden hairpin with a carved butterfly. Kristal had always been fascinated with it, but the headmaster wouldn't let her touch it. So one night she snuck out of her room to steal it, but she soon realized that she would get in trouble if she was caught with it, so she panicked and hid it under the stone. Kristal felt terrible about it, because under the stone no one was able to appreciate it. That was the last time she stole something, without a legitimate reason. The gates to the stairs were kept shut with a sturdy plastic band. Kristal poured the vegetable oil into the fuel tank. It was a risky move, but it turned out to be a good one. Kristal pulled the engine cord, and this time the lawnmower purred like a cat. She grabbed the handle, but only managed to push the lawnmower 2 steps before she ran into a rock and the engine broke down. Not only did the engine break, the cutting blade had shot off and missed the cat by an inch. Kristal pretended like she didn't just almost decapitate the cat and calmly picked up the cutting blade. The gates to the stairs were kept shut with a sturdy plastic band. Kristal used the lawnmower blade to cut it open. The fridge was heavy and leaning dangerously close to the balcony edge. Kristal peeked into the fridge and found a half-rotting fish. Kristal tossed the half-rotten fish in front of the cat, which desperately cut its fangs into the food. When the cat was finished, it cleaned its paws and walked through the cat door. A minute later, the cat returned, but it had not fulfilled Kristal's request. Instead, it carried a long rope in its jaws. Kristal pulled the rope from the cat's jaws. It hissed and ran off. Kristal's aim wasn't reliable enough to use the rope as a lasso. Kristal tied one end of the rope around the fridge and let the other end hang down from the balcony. It was all part of her plan. Kristal placed herself on the end of the plank and grabbed the rope. She used all her strength to pull the fridge. The fridge landed on the other end of the plank and sent Kristal flying. As if calibrated by a rocket scientist, Kristal soared perfectly towards the roof. She even managed to squeeze in a somersault before landing. Kristal picked up the bunny. The next moment, she stepped on a loose tile and fell. But as if on cue, the umbrella unfolded and she safely sailed down to the ground. The red-haired girl nodded and did as she was told. And so the door was open. One more minute and Kristal would have collapsed from hunger. She hurried inside the orphanage. The back door led straight to the kitchen. Kristal found her way to the stove where a chicken stew was simmering. She was so hungry, she wolfed half of it and put a loaf of bread in her bag for the boy. She was about to escape, but then... It was as if Kristal had traveled back in time and was her 11-year-old self again. She didn't mind spending some time at the orphanage. It was better than starving in the woods. And she couldn't wait to taste that sweet, sweet carrot jam again. Kristal knew the boy wouldn't be happy about her spontaneous decision to stay a while. But he would have to deal with it. It's not like they had a plan on how to reach the town anyway. One thing at a time, Kristal thought. First, she needed to find 10 eggs for the pancake party. The cat seemed grumpy. The cat just looked the other way. Kristal caught the cat's attention. The cat was not impressed. The cat liked it and lowered its guard. The cat enjoyed it and rolled over on its back. The cat was now purring out loud. The cat allowed Kristal to pick it up. It didn't seem to mind riding her backpack for a while. Kristal picked up what she thought was an egg. But it was not an egg. It was a white snail. A hen was occupying the wheelbarrow. It was roosting an egg. Not only was it roosting an egg, but also some silverware and coins. Not only materialistic, but egoistic, because it wouldn't let Kristal take the egg. The bird's nest was high up, but even from beneath, Kristal could spot 2 large eggs in it. Those were definitely chicken eggs. But how would she get them down? Maybe she could throw something. Kristal threw the cat at the bird's nest. Whoever said cats always land on their feet had not seen this cat. The cat crashed into the bird's nest, which collapsed from the additional weight. Everything came falling down, but Kristal caught the eggs and the cat before they hit the ground. The bird's nest, however, was no more. The goose was carrying something in its mouth. It dropped it in Kristal's hand. Kristal approached the hen with the earring in her hand. The earring shimmered in the sun and caught the hen's attention. Kristal put the fake pearl earring next to the hen, which quickly moved over to roost the earring instead of the egg. Kristal picked up the egg. Kristal used the pump, but something was blocking the water. Kristal pulled the lever another time, and this time an egg flushed out and fell into the well. Kristal picked up the egg. Fascinated by the statue, Kristal took a closer look. It strangely reminded her of Strong Girl. Then Kristal saw something behind the basket. It was an egg. Kristal stuck her head into the chicken coop. Inside, she found 4 hens and a rooster. To her surprise, they were the same hens as when she lived at the orphanage, so she knew them well. But they were not roosting any eggs. Kristal knew why. They were upset, and the reason was that there was no harmony in how they were sitting. The red hen was cranky and hated the other hens, but fancied the rooster. The orange hen also liked the rooster, but despised the white hen. The yellow hen adored the white hen, but couldn't stand the rooster. The white hen did not like to be moved. It was also too old to lay any eggs, so it didn't matter where she sat. The rooster also did not like to be touched. Kristal knew that hens only care who is next to them or directly above or below them. If she rearranged them to achieve harmony, perhaps they would get into egg-laying mode. The red hen was cranky and hated the other hens, but fancied the rooster. The orange hen also liked the rooster, but despised the white hen. The yellow hen adored the white hen, but couldn't stand the rooster. The white hen did not like to be moved. It was also too old to lay any eggs, so it didn't matter where she sat. The rooster also did not like to be touched. Kristal knew that hens only care who is next to them or directly above or below them. If she rearranged them to achieve harmony, The red hen was cranky and hated the other hens, but fancied the rooster. The orange hen also liked the rooster, but despised the white hen. The yellow hen adored the white hen, but couldn't stand the rooster. The white hen, the rooster, all Kristal knew if she rearranged them to... Kristal had achieved harmony inside the chicken coop. She waited for a couple of minutes, and as expected, eggs soon began to drop. All three of them, the red, yellow, and orange hen, laid one egg each. Kristal picked them up. The red-haired girl smiled and pointed both of her index fingers at Kristal. Kristal recognized this. It was a game called chopsticks. The kids used to play it back when she lived at the orphanage. While none of the kids ever played with Kristal, she had seen the others do it, so she knew the rules. The goal was to bring the opponent to 2 full hands. To do that, scores from one hand are transferred to the hand of the opponent. Kristal accepted the invitation to play. Kristal had won. The red-haired girl was disappointed. It was clear she wanted a rematch. This time, Kristal lost. The score was now 1-1. The winner of the final game would take all the glory. It was a close game, but Kristal had beaten the red-haired girl at the game Chopsticks. Despite defeat, the red-haired girl was smiling. She reached for something inside her dress and gave it to Kristal. It was a chicken egg. Kristal still hadn't told the boy that this is where she grew up. She also hadn't come to terms with her own feelings about returning to the orphanage. While it had brought up some tough memories, this place felt safe. Kristal had found enough eggs to make pancakes for the orphans. It was time to return to the kitchen. The businessman raised his hand to strike the old woman. The cat licked Kristal's hand, and Kristal almost shed a tear. This was goodbye. Almost immediately after they climbed into the truck, someone closed the tailgate and drove off with the vehicle. Opening up to the boy had lifted a heavy weight from Kristal's chest. She put her head on his shoulder and rested her eyes for a moment.
That's the reason you brought Stronger, isn't it? I'm sure the clown will fulfill his purpose soon as well. You mean the terrorist group, the Butterflies? They were but petty thugs, impotent to start a real revolution. It served them right to be exterminated.
It's the little one from the orphanage. She's no different from the rest, Kristal. But her powers might be useful.
The little one really is a glass cannon. She's incredible. Are you going to let her talk to you like that? How are you supposed to move forward if she keeps reminding you of what's behind? Yes, this is fascinating. It seems she has the power to bend the dimensions in a field and invert strengths and weaknesses. This ability will definitely come in handy. We need her. Amazing. The power is flowing so strongly through her that she cannot control the element of her attack. If only she tamed it, she could become a queen. I wonder what goes on in her head. Don't be jealous, Kristal. She might have the potential to become a queen, but you and I will become a god. Beautiful. No words were ever needed. The two of you are in complete sync. Kristal, it's too late for a surprise attack. Watch your steps. By the way, did you notice how the little one put energy into her guard to channel a special ability? I don't know why we haven't thought of that before. Maybe you could try it. So this is what he bulldozed the circus to erect. I told you he knew we were coming. I don't think they care about that, Kristal.